Yo, it's HVAC Noel coming to you inside my garage. I made a little setup. We're here. First ever video here in this garage, man. We're pretty much gonna be talking about some yitty yat, some HVAC, some personal life stuff, some what the next goal is, what's the next plan is. It's gonna get really exciting, man, and I'm really excited for us to just see what we have to offer, man. I'm here, man. I'm trying to get everything all set up. I'm trying to get everything all situated here and into this little situation. But hell yeah, man, I got this little garage set up. Man, I'm trying to see what the biggest presentation I can give. Boom. And you know, I kind of just wanted to talk about who I am, what I did, how I did it in HVAC, in life. I want to just talk about pretty much how things worked for me and how I came out to be who I am now and what I did. You know, um, I think one of the biggest things that I want to kind of show out for this podcast is showing you guys how I did things. My biggest thing is how HVAC Noel did things. Obviously, the right way. We wanted to do the right way. We want to do the best way for us to get the best results. And I think that that's my goal for this podcast. Who I am. Why did I choose HVAC? How did I get started? Little things like that kind of just motivates you, motivates me, motivates the next technician that's obviously watching this video. The struggles, the wins, the little side jobs that I did, the things that motivated me to change my life and what made the trade change my life. And that's how we're gonna get into this little intro right here, man. Coming into this trade, it wasn't no fairy tales, no rainbows, no sunshine. It was one of those things where I didn't think that I was gonna continue doing what I was doing. You know. So who I am, my name is Joshua Noel. My
Joshua
parents
Noel,
coming from Haiti. Obviously, I was born and raised in Miami, Florida, North Miami Beach to be exact. But that's one of the things that I wanted to present to you guys is that I came from something. I came from somewhere where everybody motivates themselves to become a rich person. And I wanted to give you guys that insight of who I am. I am currently an HVAC teacher here in Dallas, Texas. I currently do little side jobs, meaning appliance work. I like to kind of fall into not just HVAC, residential, commercial, industrial, but more like the basics of things like fundamental of electricity, checking voltage, motors, all that. It comes into HVAC, and that's what I fell into. But currently teaching HVAC right now in high school at Career Institute East, coming from Dallas ISD. HVAC has pretty much became more than just a job for me. It came a whole career, it came my life. So when I say HVAC is life, that is life or I die. But it's a lifestyle. It's a skill set. It's honestly something that gives me a purpose that makes me want to move and get up each and every day to figure something out to test to challenge what I can do in life. And HVAC became more just working and getting the job done. It became something that I got to teach people in life. I got to help customers. I got to problem solve. I got to show other people in the trades where it really changed my life other than just doing HVAC. It changed my life by knowing electricity. I'm able to troubleshoot my washer. Washer broke down. I'm like, bruh, what's going on? Multimeter. Every single time you go check on a YouTube DIY, a multimeter comes up with the person that's using it. So I already had that from obviously doing my maintenance and obviously my HVAC. So that helped me troubleshoot my washer for me to kind of go into buying a part, shifting the part out, washer started working. I don't have to go buy a new dryer. I don't have to go buy a new washer. Either way, it gave me the fundamentals. And that's kind of how anybody, you go into electrical. Yeah, you're gonna know electrical stuff. Yeah, you go to plumbing. Yeah, you're gonna know plumbing stuff. I think HVAC is the one that takes into taking those four or five, six different trades into one, and you get the concept so you can branch off and run in with it. And that's the biggest thing with it. That's the biggest thing with it. Um, who I am, again, coming from Miami, parents are Haitian, first generation. I got to be where I was expected to do a lot. I was the baby. I have a older brother. Went to the military after high school, so things were coming into the idea of you were the ticket. You know, all the pressure and everything. I played football in high school. Went to where my mindset was football and school. And that was it. Senior year, I became to where obviously about to graduate, had the mindset of doing what I wanted to do, football at school. Wanted to kind of pursue my mom's dreams in a sense of becoming a nurse or becoming something in the medical field for to take care of people. And I seen that from my mom, seen that from my dad, as my dad is a business owner and my mom as a person that take care of people, my dad taking care of customers. It taught me a lot. It taught me a lot to understand that if you would like to be treated very well or good, then treat the other person like that. Don't be don't be that person to treat somebody bad and then be like, "Oh, I want to be treated good." No. You have to treat somebody like how you want to be treated. Simple as that. So, coming from that, household, I learned a lot. Senior year, that was kind of my parents' dreams to become something that they never was. And I tore my ACL playing football senior year. It was a big change in life, never tore or broke a bone in my body, so it was something dramatically changing. It went from going to playing football, doing all this, feeling invisible to boom, something just went downhill. One thing I got taught was adversity. Adversity was something instilled in my head to this day, and if you guys don't know what adversity is when things get tough, when things get to the point where you can't control, how are you going to react? Are you going to just go downhill with that problem? Or are you going to motivate yourself and keep that same face you have from when you started of, of greatness and fight it? And that's something that's to this day I'm with. That's something that my coach. Shout out to my coach, uh, Coach Chip, one and only. He instilled that to us in my football team, and it was something great. And I just catched on to it, and then it was something where playing playing football, it took a lot, and that happened, and I kind of I fought it. We fought. It was a good battle. Obviously, there's times where I went down, I went up, but that happened, and I had to figure out what was next. From my understanding, from my experience, going to school and not having anything that you plan on doing was the worst thing. All right, don't ever do that. Have something else other than school. Work, yeah, but something that can keep you motivated and you love it. You know. So I went to school, dropped out first semester. Wasn't it? Wasn't it? And that's kind of how it was. I mean, I dropped out first semester. College wasn't it for me, and I just went straight into work, working. Obviously, 9 to 5, getting more money, working, living with my parents, and it wasn't fun because I stopped. I went and pretty much moved in with my closest friend, got an apartment, but I was still working in the warehouse, got the understanding of warehouse logistics, got the understanding of how to drive a forklift, how to pack stuff, and shout out to them, man. Shout out to my homeboy Julio, man, put me on. I can never forget that job, man. It was one grown man job, man. You gotta put in work. You gotta put in work. If you ain't gonna get money if you don't put in work, and that's something I learned, man. Shout out to the man Julio. Man, I got pictures to this day, man. I gotta show these pictures out for real. That type of job is it's serious. It's serious, man. I'll take it for a lesson learned. So I moved out, went to living with my homeboy, got the job. We've been working there for a good year or two, and I went into another company, and it was a furniture company where I was able to move furniture, and I was a good job too, man. Good people, type of job where I got there at 8, able to pack the truck up, got to learn how to drive a 20-foot truck, big boy. I'm talking about first day I got there, they're looking at me like, "You ready?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got y'all," and I literally asked them, "Hey, is this truck hard to drive?" They looking at me like, "Man, did you not sign up for this? Like, did you not know what you was getting into?" And I was like, "Man, whatever, man." And one of the things I love to do is that get thrown in the fire is really the biggest thing. Yeah, some people don't like it, but that's you learn quick, and that's something that I learned, and I loved it. Worked the furniture mart, got to move furniture, expensive furniture, not just the regular old furnitures, but got to learn how to tie up, wrench up, move furniture in a certain way. I'm talking about like 2 stories, houses to apartments, and it was fun. It was thrilling. Was working there, and then I got to honestly, there was not just that. I love it. See, that's thinking about me, bro. I be forgetting stuff. But one thing I forgot was that I was working with my roommate at the warehouse. I ended up moving back to my parents' house. Why? Because time got tough, man. I'm talking about it was in to where when I told you guys it was where you had to work and you got paid, and the situation with my lead supervisor, that type of job where they were being greedy on the work. The production where trucks came in and they were taking those loads that obviously had more money. That was the problem where weren't able to get a lot of money. Yeah, my homeboy Julio, he was there for 2 years prior. I got there, so he already knew the system. He already knew what he was getting into, and he was busting ass. Like he was getting his money. And all in all, there were people that you just didn't want to work with, man. I'm talking about those type of people. So I ended up moving back with my parents, working there, staying at my parents for a good, I think, a year or two, and then I moved back, and then that's when I got that. That's when I got that furniture mart job. But it was just one of those things that I learned. Every single job that I got, I learned, um, and it was exciting. I think I think Home Depot was another job that I fell in love with too. I think that's was a stepping stone to where I am now, but I don't think that was the cause. Uh, I look back on it to this day. I'm like, man, Home Depot was a a a trades job that I could have been in and learned more about, but I didn't fall into it until a little after. It's pretty cool. Lot associate at Home Depot. Just getting cards, obviously getting tips at with the workers that I used to always load the cement. Shout out to the boys at Home Depot. Them boys to this day I still remember. It's funny because all them boys working at some type of trade, or doing something as in working with their hands. It's funny. But that's something exciting that I got to experience that in my life, that people are, changing their life in the trades and everything. And that's cool. Um Home Depot, Furniture Mart, and then I got into to trade schools right after that. That's in the span of I graduated 2016. So I got into HVAC 2020. So you looking at good 4 years of doing all that. And then HVAC trade school, game changer. One of those things where I took initiative. First day of school, I remember, you can ask my fiance. She talking about, oh, this is lit, this is lit, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish it. Would you? First day orientation, I'm talking about, and she like, nah. And yeah, man, it's 2026, and look where we're at. So yeah, man, HVAC Noel, you know who it is. We're at my little setup here, man. It's pretty cool. It's my first video here, so I'm just trying to introduce myself, HVAC Noel. Giving you guys who, what, why, HVAC. Pretty much my lifestyle, why I chose HVAC, what made me change my life to becoming an instructor now. So I'm an instructor for Career Institute East, pretty much Dallas ISD. That's the people that funded it, helped us out, gave us the opportunity to change lives and develop leaders. You know what I mean? But that's just kind of one of those biggest things that I want to introduce with you guys and give you guys a whole heads up on what this is and what this video is all about. It's giving you guys the insight of the little things about my life, how I started, and what made me become who I am. And yeah, man. So I kind of went from going to the trades, did the trades for 7 months, had to get pushed back because of financial aid. So when I started the trade school, I had to sign up, like just like college, get into the diploma, figuring out where financial aid was, and I got a loan from a private loan, and they paid it off. And I think one of the biggest things for the trade school was if I get a job, it was obviously going to be something that they paid off, or it was something like money back guarantee. All all in all, I end up having to take the loan out, pay for the school, um, 7 months, 9 months, because at 7 months I think my financial aid was having issues, and I had to just kind of redo the class again, and then not redo the class, but I think they had to pause my class. So I didn't finish with the class that I started with. So I had to kind of go back and all this stuff. But 9 months, got my out of the 9 months, I got my solar license, solar certification. I got my EPA, and I got my 609. So able to do air conditioning on vehicles, motor vehicles. And it was pretty fun, man. I got to meet some good people. Met in Jacksonville, so Tulsa Welding School in Jacksonville. Y'all gotta check that out if y'all in Jacksonville. Good program, good things that I consider you guys need to take advantage of. They're there to help you. There's a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of marketing that they're able to do for you guys if you just put your foot forward and have a mindset of if you want to change your life, you're able to do that there. So Tulsa Welding School, came from Jacksonville campus. again, spent 7 months there, HVAC program and solar, and it was great. All in all, great discipline. You had to be there. One of the biggest things I got it from the trade schools was discipline. Not saying that I didn't have it, but I did have it from football. But one of the biggest things was they are what they say they are doing. They are going to be on top of you, making sure you come to class. It's not just for them, but for you yourself, having to learn something that you never learned before, and it's a blessing, and that's the biggest thing that you guys need to take in consideration doing HVAC or any type of trade, and I love it. But 7 months, first class was learning about electrical fundamentals of electrical, and second class was refrigeration. Um, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I learned a lot. I can say I self taught myself, more likely having to read the textbook and looking into that and taking notes and understanding what they have in the textbook. Because I'll let you guys understand this one. You guys are not going to remember a lot of stuff in trade school and all the things you learned, because when you get on the field, it's a whole different ball game. Whole different ball game. And one thing my teacher taught me was that everything you learn in trade school is you're gonna forget in the field. And it's not just obviously being a person that, oh, I didn't learn that in trade school, or it's just a whole different ball game. The things you learn on the book is like it's pretty perfect, and it's just a scenario. It's a concept. I remember that it's a concept. So when you get on the field, you're able to take that concept and apply it to things you're looking at. Because you go into an old lady's home and AC unit look about 10 years prior to you even started trade school, and it's just old. Simple as that. And you're looking at the contact, you're like, oh no, this is not what I seen in the textbook. Yeah, duh. All right. Obviously, you know what the contact is looking like. So you're taking the understanding of what a contact it does, and you're applying that into, all right, now I'm using my tools to check this and that and this and that. I'm able to fix that. Simple as that. So that's kind of one of the biggest things that I wanted it to tell you guys, to understand that trade school is there for you guys, but you have to understand it more for yourself. All right. It's there. You got YouTube and everything is there for you, but you as a person have to understand that. Apply that to the simple things for yourself. Apply that to things you already know, for you to understand it. I think that's one thing I tell my students is, yeah, I can give you information, but it might be something that you're not comprehending at all. So I always simplify it or try to relay it to something that they understand, especially for like a one-on-one conversation, or in the class setting, that I can try to grasp majority of the classmates or the class itself, that they can understand little things, and then I'll take the ones that don't understand it, and then one on one, and I'm able to figure out what they need, or yeah, what they need to understand it even much better. And yeah, that's something that took from trade school. And after trade school, I mean, it was about the 6 month of trade school. I got a job at a warehouse for a company, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. The warehouse, I was pretty much the parts guy. So it was a startups HVAC company. The dude he was a college graduate, and his dad had a company for plumbing, and dad took over the whole Jacksonville as plumbing. Talk about top company. So he came out of trade school. He came out of college and made his own HVAC company, and I was part of that. And it was exciting. Got to understand the parts, the material, the inventory, and what they need as a technician, what they need as an installer, and so on and so forth. It was fun. They gave me a warehouse. That warehouse was pretty much When I tell you that warehouse was nothing in it, nothing, empty. And they started moving units in there, and I started organizing it. They gave me forklifts, pallet jack, no forklift, pallet jack, no electricity in that, no electricity in that building whatsoever. And it was one of those fun moments where, I mean, I was trying to get paid. Guess how much I got paid? $14. I got paid $14, So I think even it's funny because I think I got paid 13.50, and he raised it to 14 when I finished it. But it was one of those jobs where, man, I was working from 6 to 5, and I went to trade school from 6 to 11, and I did that for about 2 months at the end of trade school. Man, it was fun and tiring. I do encourage you guys to do it. I mean, that's how work is going to be, man, especially when life comes into play where you're going to a HVAC company, you're working for from 7 to 6, and then you're on call. And you're like, oh, dang, I got to still keep on working. So, yeah, keep that in mind, man, because that's money in that's more money in your pocket, but it's just that mental of having to keep on going and knowing you're doing something for a good cause. And yeah, I did that, and it was pretty fun. After I did that, I went to actual trade. I went to actual HVAC company. No, I went to a HVAC company that was established, and that was a maintenance tech. Did you just seen that with the freak? That was a whole fly, bro. But I was a maintenance technician, and it was fun. I got my own van at that time, so it was pretty cool. I was training for about 4 weeks with the assistant manager, and cool guy. Learned a lot. It was something that I learned from a first being a technician. I used to bring books, like notebooks, and write down a lot of stuff. That was my first time doing that, and it was fun. I got to do dryer vents, so I was working in my Jacksonville, Florida, Orange Park, but Jacksonville, Florida was the area, and I got to do dryer vents. It was residential, a lot of customer service, a lot of maintenance, cleaning out the condenser, checking the filters, changing out the filters. What else? Making sure the Delta T was perfect. Wasn't majority of the time it wasn't. Talking to customers, letting them know that the biggest thing is talking to a customer, and it's like I do maintenance, and I'm like doing it so good. I'm on a roll, and you get that one customer, you're like, hey, this is what's going on. Your Delta T is at this, and you know your pressure's at this. But I know what you can do is add refrigerant so we can figure out what's going on, or add refrigerant knowing that there's a leak. But would you like to do a leak change? They're like, no. I'm like, well, all right. So there's a situation where you might end up having to, get refrigerant. Have you been doing that? And it's like so much of a issue going on, and then it's not like selling, but I always consider it just I can make your unit better. Why does it have to be, oh no, or that that speech of you trying to sell me? And that's what I was dealing with when I was doing the maintenance, and a lot of customers obviously they're like no. Filters was a big thing that I loved about it. Just selling filters. uh First year, it was just one of those things where I got to you got paid more. So I got paid $21 an hour, but if you sell a filter, it'll be like an extra $5 that hour. And I remember we had to do paperwork every morning, and we had to break it down and then give it to the manager so he can pay us and everything the right way. and it was pretty cool. I love that. It was only three technicians for that branch. The branch was based off of Virginia, and it was pretty fun. There was a lot of installs. So the manager of that company had a son that was at the high school that I went to, and he he was working there, and he was just getting. I'm talking about a young kid getting money with the dad. It was pretty fun looking at that and seeing that. It was exciting. Residential was my cup of tea. That's kind of what I did, and after that, I got into the big boy stuff. I do want to kind of just go into. All right, yeah, I do just want to kind of present to you guys. I am HVAC Noel. I am that person that's gonna motivate you to do what you can do and how you can do it. Motivate. I am that person that's gonna motivate you to do what you can do in HVAC. I am that person that's gonna teach you and give you the basics, give you that concept, and you can run with it. HVAC Noel is here to change lives. All right, I'm here to give you that that understanding of how HVAC is important into our lives. All right. I come to you with the most ultimate respect. I want you guys to understand that we're here. We're never leaving. And I want to sign out to you guys. HVAC Noel out.